Where I lived in an apartment with my mom and my grandma. You could just about see her house. When she'd come out, she'd start walking, and I could see her carrying a skate. I'd grab mine.
How old were you said?
In fifth grade.
Fifth grade? That would be like 12, maybe? Yeah?
Younger than that.
11, 10. I think I was 10 in fourth grade, but...
And then when I got into seventh grade, me and Alan, he was a black kid. Him and I hung out. But when we hung out in school, in South High, we hung out. But when we went outside, we couldn't associate with each other because of the feeling. But years later, a gang of black kids were chasing me. And one time, the leader of the gang there got a hold of me. He said, "Why do you keep running from us? We just want to talk to you." And I became friends with them.
You were just scared, though?
Yeah,
like
because they were all after me. I mean, running.
They just wanted to talk?
Yeah.
Shoot the breeze?
I became friends with that gang, you know.
Yeah.
Then I could cross lines. Before, you had from Franklin north to close to downtown, that was a black neighborhood. Nobody ever walked that. I did. And people said, "Man, you're crazy." I know these people now.
So what?
And then Alan, he worked at D'Amico's, and that was a store. And he was a bagger. And it was in the black neighborhood. I could go in that store and talk to him anytime. We got to talk to each other outside of school. You know?
Yeah. If people saw you talking to each other outside of school, would they have beat you up?
Well, they didn't ignore it. They didn't beat you up. They just cold shoulder. You know? But at that time, I got to look at... I've always had black friends. Even when I was in third grade, I went to... we lived down the Grave Street. McConnell School. I had a black friend there. And we were going to play after school. I said, "Well, I got to do dishes." So he come to the back door, and it was the alley. He come up there and knock on the door. He said, "Are you done yet?" I said, "No, I got to drive me." He said, "You want me to help?" I said, "Sure." My grandma goes, I was like, man, you know.
Wouldn't let him in the house.
Yeah. Jeepers, man.
And people think that racism is over because it was so long ago. When people like you are still alive with memories of actual racism, you know, how can people expect...
I mean, even on both sides. I mean, I couldn't go to Betty's house because I wasn't black. You know?
Well, it was segregation, like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of like they both...
But it amazed me. I was the only one that ever hung out with black people. You know?
Well, I mean...
And I didn't find it weird.
Weren't most of your cousins, you know, brown? Pretty brown? Being native?
Yeah.
Did they get a lot of, like, racism, you think, directed at them?
Oh, yeah. You know, Indians were lower. Even lower than black. You know, back then. Yeah, I think they really started opening up is when...
Is this like the 50s? This is like the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
50s, very early 60s, 60, 61. You know, and I think they really started opening up to blacks in the family is when Carmen started going with Lee.
Well, I was alive at that point.
Then they really started opening up then, you know. And then Jim, he was heavy-duty prejudice. Jim DeBress. And when Jody girl, she fell in love with a black guy and moved to Texas. You know where Jim's at now?
Texas?
Texas, living with him for the winter.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you got to open up. You cannot. Uncle Nick, you know Uncle Nick. We were throwing horseshoes. We were at, I don't know. I think it might have been a graduation, some type for somebody, and Heidi came there. You know, and Heidi already had Mindy. And we're throwing horseshoes, and Uncle Nick said, "Oh, there's that nigger over." I said, "Hey," I said, "that's my niece, your daughter. She does not choose who she falls in love with. Her heart does." Oh, I'm sorry. I'll
Yeah.
never say that again.
Yeah. Well, but Uncle Nick was Polak guy too, though. I mean, he wasn't native. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of a white guy. Old school guy, right?
Yep. But everybody in the family knew how I felt about blacks. You know, I hung out with the ball. Even in the army, us guys hung out Mexican, white guy, German guy, white guy, me. And the black dude, he was the gay guy. And the blacks wouldn't let him. The blacks in the barracks had one corner, all their bunks. He wasn't allowed to go down there, be with me, because he was gay. Well, us guys said, "Hey, man, come hang with us." You know, hey, we're everything here. Mexican, Indian, we're everything. Black ain't gonna hurt us none.
Or gay.
Yeah, or gay. But that was his business, you know.
Yeah.
Had a
Well,
black-
gay in the army is still an issue. You know,
Yeah.
people have beaten up other people because they're gay. You know.
Had a black sergeant there when all of us guys hanging out together, and we always went and had coffee together. He said, "You know, you guys are the weird. You don't have one set group. you guys are the weirdest." You know, and that was in '67.
Was that in your basic training?
No, that was in after I come home from Nam.
After you came home from Nam?
Yeah,
You were still in barracks?
yeah. Kit
Why were you still in barracks when you came home?
barracks.
Yeah, I said barracks. Were you in the barracks, you said?
Yeah, in living quarters, a barracks.
Yeah, but didn't you get out of the army?
No, not until '68, April of '68.
So you were stateside
Yes.
just
From
after.
October to April.
Where were you?
Fort Ord, California.
Oh, so you were in California, just doing what?
Oh,
What'd you do for the base?
we were, all of us were Vietnam vets. We outfit called CDAC. You had something to sell the Army, the Army would take it and we would test it in all kinds of environments.
Oh, fun, huh?
Yeah. Fun. But all our lieutenants and our captain were on their way to Vietnam. They were going to be going to Vietnam, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they put them all the officers with us to hear us talk, because we always still talk Vietnam talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
which your mom used to set me for. I used to say buku, dinky dow, and all things like that. Talk American. I'm sorry. Buku. Things like that. But I had, our lieutenant was second lieutenant, and he was a mulatto. He used to like to mess with me all the time. And one time after a dress inspection on a Saturday morning, he come over and he grabbed my dress jacket and put it over my head. He said, "What are you going to do now, Indian?" I said, "Sir, I haven't got time for no second lieutenant." Everybody. But see, as long as you use sir, you show them respect.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't a thing they can do. You can talk any way you want. And then before I got out of the service, I wished him luck. You know, be good. If you got any advice for me, I said, yeah, I know you want to make it a career, an Army career, but don't volunteer your men. Unless they say they'll do it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Good advice.
I sure hope he made it through, because he was a nice kid, man. Which he was really a kid. He was only about
So were
20.
you.
Yeah.
I And kiddo.
Yeah, we had trouble with that. I remember one time we got a replacement in our squad, and he comes over to us. He just come from stateside. He comes over and he says, "Wow, I'm supposed to be with you guys." The captain said that. Go talk to the old guys. I looked around and we're 19. We're looking at each other. We're old now. We're old now. We'll talk to the old guys.
You're like, that's sad, right?
I always thought that was funny. Talk to the old guys. That was a hillbilly guy. He was from Tennessee. He got hit the same day I did. A bunch of us did. The Indian wiped out our platoon. And he got a bullet went up in his helmet and went across. It didn't go into his skull. It just went on around it, about that deep, and you could see the skull. He was nuts after that. They discharged him from the service. Oh, he went crazy. He didn't know nothing. He didn't even know his own name.
Wow. Amazing that a bullet strike like that must have
Well,
rattled him.
It was his first firefight, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something that your first firefight's scary, you know. And then you can imagine him being afraid and then getting hit, twice as afraid,
Mm-hmm.
and then boom, he just cracked. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, physically, the bullet might have knocked his brain around, too, you know? I mean, that doesn't help, you know what I mean? They say even nowadays, they say even one time, if you get your brain damage bad enough knocked around, it can mess you up for life.
Wow.
Nothing there. Mm-hmm.
At night when I'm in bed, I can hear him do that. I know who's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I know who's in there. He didn't have to. He double checked, made sure I covered everything up.